You're telling me it's mild today?
It's very mild. You don't need your winter coat today, Anna. It is really mild air that we've got across the UK. Temperatures are higher than they were yesterday, and it's helped by a bit of sunshine today. And the highest temperatures are actually across England and Wales. We've already seen temperatures reaching 17 degrees in Worcestershire and also in Suffolk, and it's even 15 degrees in Bradford and also in Manchester. It's not quite as warm as that in Northern Ireland, but it is turning drier, and it's still very mild here. Temperatures are picking up across southern parts of Scotland, but it's been a bit of a struggle across more northern areas of Scotland. Quite a different picture here in Aberdeenshire from earlier on, where we've got misty, foggy weather and some rain around.
Hello there, good afternoon to you. It stays very mild through the rest of the day. Sunny spells around at first, more cloud through the second half of the afternoon with the chance of 1 or 2 showers.
Hello there, good evening. It has been a very mild day for today. We've been up at around 18 degrees in parts of the capital. That's around 9 or 10 degrees higher than you'd normally expect to see at this time of year. We're hanging on to a mild theme, although not quite as mild as today.
I've got some good news to tell you, actually. It's been incredibly mild, hasn't it, through the day today. Wet underfoot, yes, but warm and wet, perfect growing conditions for the spring flowers out there. And it has felt pretty spring-like for most of us today. Just take a look at what our average temperatures should be at this time of year. Bear in mind that we're still only midway through February, and some areas across Worcestershire, London and Norfolk, well, they've seen temperatures a good 10 degrees above that. So an incredibly mild story. But as we move into the weekend, we are going to see further outbreaks of rain. It will be a tale of two halves for many of us as we go through the weekend. There will be frontal systems moving their way through. So for many, it starts off cloudy and murky. Rain out to the north and west on Saturday, slowly improving on Sunday, with the exception perhaps the far southeast. Sophie.
And I was glad to say, Louise, I wasn't the only one caught out today wearing a coat walking down the street. I saw other people and we were all sweating. Very mild today.
Incredibly mild, Assad. Incredibly mild night, actually. So there was only one way for the weather to go. And with some sunshine coming through, the spring flowers are now starting to blossom. You can just feel spring is around the corner. And actually, the temperatures reflected that today. We saw a high of 18 degrees in Teddington, just in West London. The average at this time of year should be 9 degrees. So it's considerably warmer than it should be. And then we see this brief respite before another front moves through, another little ridge of high pressure following on behind, another front waiting in the wing. So basically, I'm trying to set up for those who are off for half term through the week ahead. It's not a complete washout. Some days we will see some wet weather, other days it'll be brighter. It'll be a little bit fresher than it has been, but nevertheless, so still those temperatures pretty good for this time of year. Assad.
Hello there. Normally at this time of the year, maximum temperatures would be 8 or 9 degrees. Now, today wasn't a record breaker by any means, but it was unusually mild, particularly for England and Wales. 17 degrees in Worcestershire and also Suffolk, and in the northeast of England, it was 16 degrees in Durham. Those high temperatures came because we had a southerly breeze, and we also broke the cloud up to give some sunshine here and there as well. But that was ahead of the rain, and whilst it was 15 degrees in Manchester for a while, we have seen the cloud thickening across Wales and western parts of England with some rain developing.
And Alex, you're with some orchids in Kew Gardens in London, aren't you? And you're not in a coat because it's been quite mild today, isn't it?
Oh, Charlene, it has been so unseasonably mild today, particularly in the south. In fact, the conditions have been very similar to inside where I am at the moment. I'm in the Princess of Wales Conservatory at Kew Gardens, which is currently hosting an orchid festival inspired by Madagascar. Madagascar biologically is considered to be one of the most biologically valuable places in the world. They in fact have over 1,000 different species of orchid there, and where I am this evening, I've got 2 different species behind me. We're in the tropical section, and they like it best at around 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. So in fact, they would have been very happy outside today. We've actually recorded our warmest day of the year so far for England, that is. 18.1 degrees was recorded at Teddington, which is just down the road from Kew, but still a few degrees off the February record. In fact, let's take a look at that record. That was last broken back in 2019, and that was 21.2 degrees Celsius, funnily enough, recorded right here at Kew Gardens, which if you follow the data like I do, you know Kew Gardens is actually a hotspot, particularly in the summer. So why has it been so mild over the last few days, and why will it be mild as we head through into the weekend? Well, let's take a look at our air mass chart, and you can see we've got the jet stream flowing over the UK. We're actually on the warmer side of the jet to the south, so we're actually tapping into that air which is feeding up from the continent, hence the warm temperatures today. They will drop off tomorrow, but still staying above average. Right, let's take a look. Well, as we creep closer towards the weekend, well, Friday's not looking too bad, actually. We're going to see a ridge of high pressure building in, so dry conditions for many of us. Saturday, I'm afraid there is going to be more rain on the cards, but Sunday, it does start to settle back down. So we'll see more in the way of dry conditions and also some bright and sunny spells, and all the while staying relatively on the mild side. Well, Charlene, don't get too excited. Mild today, but you will need your brolly as we head into the weekend for that rain on Saturday, as I say.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks, Alex.